Good Wednesday evening, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the little summer heat out there this afternoon. We actually did hit the mid-90s. Feel like temperatures were close to 100 for most spots today. The good news is temperatures do cool off a little bit the next couple of days, but we are bringing back some thunderstorm chances. So this is all going to be thanks to our next incoming cold front. For tomorrow, there is a marginal severe weather risk, so cannot rule out maybe 1 or 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. Main concern is going to be strong straight line winds. And the reason why tomorrow is looking a little bit different than what we've seen most days this week is that, as I mentioned, cold front's heading our way, so a little bit better ingredients to produce some stronger storms. And it looks like storm chances Thursday mainly going to peak after around 3, 4 o'clock, so it's going to be kind of late into the afternoon. I would imagine by this time tomorrow we have decent coverage of thunderstorms across the area, and some of those, once again, could be producing some strong wind gusts. Here's a current look at our radar network, and you see there is some severe weather across portions of North Mississippi, even around the Mississippi and Arkansas Delta there along the Mississippi River. So those type of dynamics just going to continue moving east towards us as we head into tomorrow. Here's the way it's shaping up. So this cold front, we're going to stay ahead of it tomorrow, which is why we're still going to be pretty hot and humid Thursday. We'll most likely see highs at least into the low 90s out there again tomorrow. Now, with this cold front, you can see decent coverage of storms forming ahead of it. So these scattered showers and storms will be rolling through most likely after 4 o'clock tomorrow and lingering up until around maybe 9, 10 o'clock. So once the sun goes down, a lot of this activity should be calming down heading into Thursday night. Now on Friday, this front is going to stall out on top of us. So that's going to be our surface feature to help lift up these storms. And what's going to be able to maintain them is that we now have this area of cutoff low pressure in the upper levels of our atmosphere. So this is also going to allow for just the air to be somewhat buoyant. It's able to rise a little bit easier, and that's why we're going to keep the opportunity for some storms to form late into the day, Friday, Saturday, and even possibly into Sunday. Since this the front's going to be stalled, it's not going to be moving much, and once that area of cutoff low pressure in the upper levels, since it's cut off, it really doesn't move much either. So that's going to provide a pretty persistent forecast Friday into early next week. Here's a look at those rain chances. So once again, Thursday really seeing the highest rain chances after 4 o'clock. So mainly through late in the afternoon into the evening hours. And then Friday, really at any point in the afternoon, just a pop-up shower storm is going to be possible. But it looks like the coverage will be lower relative Friday than what we're expecting Thursday. So good news if you're planning to head out to Aikens-Macon. Right now, not necessarily looking like a complete washout either Friday or Saturday. For Aikens-Macon starting Friday, that's going to be 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. and then Saturday from 9 to 5. If you've never been to this show, it is a great opportunity to kind of pick up some early Christmas gifts for your families and friends. A lot of really cool and unique craft items and even some fantastic pieces of art. So if you want to head out to Aikens-Macon, just try to get there early into the day. That's obviously when temperatures are going to feel a lot better, and you also don't have as high a risk to see any rain. So, but even if you head out there Friday evening, Saturday afternoon, doesn't necessarily look like it would wash out everything. We also have the Trash Bash Saturday morning. Looks good for that, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And all that information is on our website, wrdw.com. And sign up if you haven't. It looks like the weather's going to be great. We should be generally in the 70s during that event early Saturday. Now, it's going to be the afternoon Saturday and Sunday afternoon to where we do have the opportunity for some of our summer storms to bubble up. So just a heads up that this could definitely impact some of your weekend plans for you. But we've been on a little bit of a hot streak. You can see 95 degrees today. So that's actually the hottest high temp we've seen since it looks like August 26th. So just about 2 weeks ago is when we saw temperatures this hot. So luckily, it looks like for the rest of the week, temperatures will gradually be going down. So by this weekend, we're looking at highs in the 80s, and we should hang on to highs in the 80s even into early next week too. So it looks like the really intense summer heat we saw today should be staying away from us, luckily, as we roll into next week. So that's our local forecast. I wanted to briefly look at the tropics. I'm sure you've seen a lot of stuff about Hurricane Lee. So Lee was a tropical storm yesterday, but the latest Hurricane Center guidance did upgrade that to a hurricane with the update around 5 o'clock this afternoon. So it is a hurricane and likely going to become a major hurricane by Friday. So the latest track from the National Hurricane Center does continue it moving west-northwest at a decent pace, and it's just going to be over really warm oceans. So it's going to have a lot of rocket fuel to work with, and it looks like environmentally there's not going to be a lot of necessarily wind shear to help tear it apart. So it's going to be thriving, and it will likely just continue this path just north of the Caribbean. And even though the cone of uncertainty only goes out 5 days, so this is what it's expected to look like, or where the track is expected to be by Monday afternoon. A lot of the longer range models I'm looking at does kind of have it turning off towards the north. So it's expected to turn north before hitting the Bahamas. So right now, not expected to be a huge threat to the U.S. mainland. I'll show you our spaghetti plots. You can see this is where the cone of uncertainty kind of comes from. So the spaghetti plots are just showing you where the center of the storm is expected to go. So each line is just a model that's initialized a little bit differently to just kind of account for different environmental factors. So you can see the far southern track there, and then the far western track kind of up here. So this kind of produces our cone of possible areas to where the center of the storm could end up. And you can see it's fairly wide there in the long term, but most of these do once again just kind of turn off towards the north. So we'll continue to keep an eye on it. It looks like it is going to become a major hurricane, probably the strongest hurricane we've seen so far this year. So worth watching. But hopefully you have a great Wednesday. We'll see you later tonight on News 12 at 11.